Of yourself, I know I can be an oppressive personality because I bubble with ideas. It was easier for the others to go along with me. So I'm wondering at what point you realised, whilst you were making music with Pink Floyd, that it doesn't quite feel as good as it once felt, that personalities were rubbing abrasively up against each other.
I think, and it's not just me, I think everybody would agree, it was really immediately after Dark Side of the Moon. So we would argue furiously about almost everything. But having said that, you know, Dave's a fantastic guitar player and he's got an incredibly beautiful voice, you know, and Rick was still doing great things on keyboards and coming up with great ideas. And so we were still coming up, you know, with the goods, but there was a lot of tension.
So you left the band, famously, Roger Waters, in 1985. So much has been written about the split and the acrimony. There were many words that passed between you and Dave Gilmour, many of them unpleasant. And I'm wondering now, with a bit of perspective, how you look back on that period when it all blew up in your face.
Well, it was a great deal of wasted energy. I famously thought that we should retire. And they famously didn't. But where people have got the wrong end of the stick, because it got reported, is the idea that we fought about this in court. We never went anywhere near a court.
But lawyers were involved, let's say.
Lawyers advised both of us, you know.
Right.
They said, listen, you can't retire the name. You can fight to get it for yourself, and you probably get it. And I went, I don't want it. And they said, this is a valuable piece of property. So you can't just say, I've decided to throw it away.
Right.
It's worth money, so it has to exist.
And there was a point, I think, were you playing in Cincinnati, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, and you were playing on your own, doing your own work. You were playing to an audience of 2,000 in a 6,000-seater stadium, and Pink Floyd were playing where to how many people?
They were playing in the Colts football stadium to 70,000 people, either the same night or the next day, I think, and that was very character-forming.
I bet.
Yes, that's all right.
How did it form your character? What form did that take?
I think it was really good for me.
Was it?
Yeah. A bit of failure is very character-forming and you know, makes you think about what's really important and what isn't.
Do you feel like you're a man who's come a long way? Do you feel like you've made an enormous sort of emotional progression in your life?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I feel so much more comfortable with who I am now and where I am now than I did 40 years ago, certainly. Oh, I'm really glad that I was in that band for the 20 years I was in it, and I really enjoyed it, and I think we did some great work together, but I had no wish to do it ever again.
Does Laurie come on tour with you?
Most of the time, yeah.
Right.
And actually, one of my sons is on the road with me. He plays keyboards in my band, so
okay.
Harry. And he's got 2 sons now.
Right.
Grandpa gets them to come and visit.
Okay.
So it's all good.
Right, it's time then, Roger, for another piece of music. Tell me about what we're going to hear.
For me, it was a sort of toss-up between Bessie Smith and Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday, as you know, is a sort of tragic figure, and this is a recording of God Bless the Child made quite near the end of her life. The vulnerability of this woman is so moving in ways that I don't have the prose to even begin to describe it. You know, when we listen to this track, it tears your heart out.
Them that's got shall have, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible said, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own.
That was Billie Holiday and God Bless the Child. You were lost in that there, Roger Waters, you seemed.
Right.
Is that all I'm getting?
Aye.
And was that an impersonation of my voice?
No.
Good,
No.
I'm glad. Do you ever become, if not blasé, then a little bit matter-of-fact about the fact that you can attract tens of thousands of people to pay for a ticket to come to see you on stage?
No, I'm not. No, I'm never blasé about it.
So what's the
I'm
sensation?
extraordinarily gratified that some of the work that I've been involved with has had the longevity that it has, to the point that it's moved generation after generation after generation, and it means something to them. So that in a way being the permission that I got from Leonard Cohen and the Beatles and Neil Young and people. Other people are getting the same permission from me, and that's extraordinarily gratifying. It's just great, but I'm not blasé about it.
So you're going to go to an island now. I'm going to send you away. How will you survive? Will you be fine with your own company?
Probably not. No, I like the company of others, particularly one other. I won't do very well on my own.
Let's hear your final piece of music then, Roger Waters. What are we going to hear?
This is part of the fourth movement of Mahler's Fifth Symphony. I made a movie of the Dark Side of the Moon tour that I did, and this is the music that opens that film, and it's to a very, very slow motion picture of a milk bottle flying up in the air, which is a reference to a game I used to play with the guys I stayed up all night with in Cambridge when we were hooligans. We used to play a game where you threw milk bottles up into the air to see how many you could get in the air before the first one hit the ground. Unbelievably stupid.
I was just thinking it sounded quite good.
So anyway, if you listen to this music, imagine milk bottles tumbling in slow motion.
That was part of the fourth movement of Mahler's Symphony No. 5, performed by the Berlin Philharmonic, conducted by Sir Simon Rattle. So, Roger, it's time to give you the books, first of all. The Bible and the Complete Works of Shakespeare. And what's your book going to be?
All the Pretty Horses, which is the first of the Crossing trilogy by Cormac McCarthy.
Right, it's yours. And a luxury too.
Well, I lived in North London in 1968 and 1969. First of all, in a girlfriend's flat, very near Highbury Stadium. And I've become addicted, really, to Arsenal Football Club. And so if I'm allowed a satellite dish, that's what I want. I want to be able to watch the Arsenal games.
You're not allowed a satellite dish?
In that case, grand piano, a Bosendorfer.
Right, you are certainly allowed that. I give it to you with pleasure.
A 9'6" Bosendorfer, please.
It's yours, Roger. And if you had to pick just one of the 8 discs, which one would you pick to save?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Mahler.
OK. The Mahler is yours. Roger Waters, thank you very much for letting us hear your Desert Island Discs.
Thank you very much for having me.